Skin is not used to that.
What is it? Sunlight.
Yes.
Okay, so what is that big red thing?
It's not red.
What is it? It's orangey.
It's white hot.
Ah, that's the sun.
Yes, we call it the sun. I know you don't have it in England, but
I've heard about it.
we like it here.
So let's get to some seriousness.
Yeah.
So we're here for PASIC.
We are indeed. You say PASIC, I say PASIC.
Okay.
It's. Do you want me to explain what the PASIC is?
Yeah.
Okay.
Tell us what PASIC is.
PASIC is the Percussive Arts Society's International Convention, and what it is to me, it's a fun event because it's a gathering of dedicated and passionate drummers, educators, artists, manufacturers, and so on. This year here in Austin, and it's a fun event full of great performances and educational, informative, and inspiring events like the one we had last night.
Okay.
And hosted, of course, by the Percussive Arts Society.
Okay, cool. Now you're not actually performing anymore this week.
No.
But you performed. When did you first come onto this show? When did you first go?
The first time I did the show was about 12 or 13 years ago.
Okay.
And I didn't know about the show before. I was invited to perform as an artist at that time for the first time, and it's always a lot of fun to be here and to come here because you have a great, very open-minded and dedicated audience of drummers when you perform here, and this has been probably last night's show, or this year is probably my fifth or sixth time that I'm here and performing at the show.
Okay. So last night, we kicked off last night with the Roland V-Drum World Championship, but the American finals.
Exactly.
So from what I gather, there was 8 finalists.
There were 8 contestants, yes.
From various locations around America.
From 8 different regions.
Yep,
exactly.
And the winner goes through to Frankfurt
for the finals.
March or April for the finals.
That is correct, Mike.
Thank you.
And you were judging it.
Yeah, and
I was performing and you were judging me. You hated my dress sense.
Yeah.
You said I wasn't stylish enough.
Yeah, technique sucks.
You said I didn't play loud enough.
No.
And what else did you not like? I had lots of zeros from you.
Yeah, you had lots of zeros from me because I felt that your technique is
so.
Yeah, you need to get. You're a little bit slow.
You commented a lot on my dress sense.
Yeah, your dress sense.
Yeah. You said I should have worn a tie.
Yeah.
And
you just didn't make an effort.
No, I didn't.
It was Halloween as well.
I knew you were there, so why bother?
But back to seriousness.
Okay.
Which is difficult when I talk to you.
Sorry.
It was a good event. You've been involved with the Roland V-Drum Festival for quite a while as well.
Yes.
You go around America and judge them as well, don't you?
Yeah. Well, I have judged the finals last year, which were hosted at the House of Blues in Anaheim during NAMM show. I judged those, and I have judged other competitions, but it was the first time I was a judge at the V-Drum World Championships last year, and this year I had you take over my job
as judge
because I was performing,
which you did do a very good job, I must say.
I played a monster drum solo, perfectly suiting the occasion, which was of course Halloween last night.
Yeah, and I was quite impressed with the standard. The 8 people that performed, mixed age group.
Yeah.
But you seeing them from before, how did you feel the representative that's going forward from America?
I think it's going to be. It's completely unpredictable. I really don't know. The V-Drum Championships are very different from any other regular sort of drumming competition because the performance is not just about playing drums really well or showing off some awesome chops and technique. The challenge with the V-Drum contest is sort of the creative use of equipment, primarily. And it takes much more than just sitting down and creating a cool solo, in 5 minutes. You have to prepare, and the key is preparation here, which makes it harder in one sense, but easier in another sense, because if you really do your homework, you can pull off a great performance. Because you can program your equipment and your sequences and your sounds and in chains and just, rattle off a really cool performance that's been well rehearsed. And it's a challenge to stay cool under pressure and work the electronics and switch sounds and start and stop sequences and all that while you're, doing a great drumming performance as well and playing well. So it has many more dimensions and levels and challenges to it than a regular sort of drumming competition. And I find that very, very interesting because it allows people who may not be the greatest drummers in the world to still do really, really well if they're creative, if they're musical, and if they do their homework.
Okay.
So the level of the contestants was, I would say, quite high, both playing-wise and programming-wise. And I'm very excited to see what's going to happen in March at the Frankfurt show.
You've just come. Today's your last day you've been on the road for quite a while.
Yes, I've been on the road for too long.
Right, and you're going home for a couple of days.
Yes.
What's going on in the Lang?
In the world of Lang.
In the world of Lang, yeah.
Well, I've done a really long tour since August. I've been on the road, and now it's November.
Yeah.
So it's been a really, really long trip, and I'm going home to finish recording the new Stork album.
Okay.
And
is that the third album now, isn't it?
It's the second
album, right. Okay.
And it's the first album with our new singer.
Okay.
And that's very exciting. I'm also finishing 2 other albums that I've produced, and we're putting that out on our label, Muso Entertainment. And I've got a few more sessions lined up this month and next month in LA, recording sessions. And I've got a few more clinics lined up until the end of the year. So although I'm home, I'm still going to be very busy.
Yeah. You've got a home studio.
I've got a home studio,
yeah,
and I've got other studios near my home that I use a lot for recordings, depending on what kind of sound and room I need. But I do a lot of work from home. I do sort of the file sharing type sessions, and so yeah, at least I can sleep at home.
Okay. You've certainly over the last couple of years had to, you've always had a very good business model, which now I think is very important. It's more than just being a musician on the road.
Yes.
And you've sort of taken a lot more control over the boot camps, okay, and Muso Entertainment, record label. Can you just tell me a little bit more about the boot camp.
Well, the boot
and
camp.
Why?
The idea started about. Well, it's now been about 6 or 7 years since sort of the social media became more important. People found out that I was touring in certain places, and they read on Facebook or other social media that I happened to be in a certain city at a certain time performing with an artist, and they contacted me on social media and asked me if I could do a private lesson, in my hotel or somewhere backstage while I was in their city, in their hometown. And over time, I got more and more requests to teach privately while I was on the road, just to kill some time, and I did it because I prefer doing something productive rather than sitting around, in a hotel room all day, on day offs especially. So I started doing that, and then over time, some students said, "Hey, do you mind if I bring a friend along and we share the cost? Or I'll bring 3 friends along and we'll do a little group session." And I said, "No, sure. The more the merrier. It's all good." And at one point, it became just too much, and I had 7, 8 guys show up at my hotels and I started using meeting rooms to teach them. And then I said, "Okay, why not organize it, and why not turn it into a real thing?" So about 3 years ago, I started to call it officially the Thomas Lang Drumming Boot Camp, and I sort of shaped it into what it is now in this sort of current form, which is a super intense drumming boot camp, which lasts usually 3 days, and every student has a kit to play on, and I limit the class size to about 20 people at every camp, so I can work with each student individually, and it's basically 8 hours of super intense, hardcore drumming exercises and sort of private lessons with me for 3 days. We work for 4 hours every morning from 9 to 1, and then 4 hours in the afternoon. There's a 1 hour lunch break from 2 to 6, and it's a really intense workout. And I create a curriculum that is specifically designed for each camp and for each camper. Is when they register for the camp on the site, which is www.thomaslangdrumcamp.com. They fill out a form telling me what the top 3 things are that they want to work on, and a bunch of other information. And I create a curriculum out of these sheets from the students, the information sheets, that is specifically designed for each student's flaws, weaknesses, problems, and interests. And then we just knock it out. 3 days of super intense practice. The students play with me every
Everyone's
day.
on a drum kit.
Everybody's on a drum
an
kit.
electronic kit or a practice kit.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I'm very lucky to have sponsors like Roland and TW who are providing all the gear.
Yeah.
And every student plays for literally 8 hours a day with me.
Including you.
And I play
Yeah.
with the
Yeah.
students. I play the exercises, and we'll just up the tempo over time and really get a lot of work done. And after a weekend of 3 days of boot camp, the students have played for 24 hours solid. So that alone is a guarantee for results. So most students have never practiced for 8 hours a day up to that point. So you can imagine they're pretty exhausted,
Yeah.
and they're struggling. And but that's the
you.
whole point.
That must
No,
be-
I'm not.
You're not.
I do it sitting on one ass cheek usually. It's not a problem. No,
He does struggle.
it is very challenging, also for me, of course, because I try to keep the energy level very high, and I try to keep the students challenged at all times and focused and interested. So it does take it out of you, of course.
Do you think? I mean, why did you think it was necessary for you to develop your own?
Well, I
Instead
wanted to
of-
do something. Usually, I've been doing sort of educational stuff for a long time.
Yeah.
I do books and DVDs and also clinics and drum events. And there's, I think, a big misconception out there about the purpose and point of a lot of these exercises, and also to a certain degree about my musical sort of philosophy and intention. And when you perform for a large group of people, you say you go to you host a clinic or something, and there's like 400 people there, and you play for a large group of people for a short period of time. So you can give them a bit of a taste and a teaser, basically, of what you're about as an artist. And it is, of course, also about the gear and advertising at the manufacturers, equipment, etc., etc. But it is not as satisfying musically or educationally as something that is the inverse, which is performing for a small group of people for a long period of time. And that's what I wanted to do. So I wanted to flip it around and do something that is super intense, that is high impact, that is really educational, really informative, and guarantees results. And it's something where people walk home with years of material to practice, and also a huge amount of inspiration, and most musicians have never learned to practice correctly, or how to practice, or what to do when they hit the wall, and so on and so forth. So I give them a lot of ideas and tips and solutions for their technical and musical problems.
Okay, so the final section is about your record label,
Yeah.
Muso Entertainment. Just tell me why you developed that and
Well,
what that's all about.
Muso Entertainment is our record company and production company, and
It's not our.
not
record
ours.
label, but it means-
Me and my wife, we run it, and my wife's really in charge and runs the show, because I'm obviously traveling and busy, and I concentrate on the production part of it, and my wife does all the hardcore marketing and selling and so on and so forth. And we've decided to start the label quite a long time ago in order to have a platform to launch our own productions, basically my records, my bands, and my productions, and so on. And it has now evolved into something slightly bigger, where we're
back.
He's back, yeah, exactly. Thank you. And also we're signing other artists as well, other bands, and we're trying to create a larger portfolio of products. And Muso Entertainment, the label and marketing and merch company, is also linked to our online site, which where we sell all my products, all my educational stuff, and my signature products, and of course also music. And it's important for me to have a platform to be able to be independently releasing CDs and books and sell products.
Okay.
It's become a very important aspect of what we do in today's time in the music industry.
Well, because we're going to finish this now.
Yeah.
Okay. But you've got 30 seconds
Okay.
to tell everybody about a new product that you've just launched. Okay.
Yeah.
Which is music based. I hope you know what I'm talking about.
No.
Okay. The board game.
Oh yes, please.
Tell everybody the board game.
Well,
See you later.
see you later. We have a great new game on the market. It's called Rock Science. And if you guys like board games, if you guys like music trivia, if you want to have great fun on a tour bus or at a party or in your kitchen with your friends, when you're traveling, get Rock Science. Go to musomart.com or go to rockscience.com. And check out this game. It's a lot of fun. You'll learn a lot about the music history, about musicians. It's full of trivia of the past, and you'll have a great time. Check it out, Rock Science. Bam!